The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi everybody, welcome to the webinar today. My name is Stephen Slayton and I am Head of Business Development here at MyQuickCloud. And today we're just going to go through something that we call self-hosting. But first we have to go through the difference between self-hosting and cloud hosting. So what I'm going to do is go through a short presentation and then show you a short demo of exactly what self-hosting is. So let's go ahead and get started. So, welcome to MyQuickCloud, the smart alternative to managed hosting. So, who are we? Back in 2006, we were named a company named Vidivi, and we specialized in remote access software. In 2009, we started doing managed hosting, or most of you know it as cloud hosting, and we established data centers in both the east and west coast of the U.S., in the UK, in Europe, South Africa, Asia, and Australia. So we know kind of our way around the cloud management, cloud hosting and managed hosting solutions. Back last year in February of 2014, we started something we call self-hosting. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm going to go through exactly what self-hosting is and what managed hosting is right now. So what is managed hosting? Managed hosting is when you have multiple users that can access your data and programs like QuickBooks that's based in a server. The hosting company is responsible for holding your data, backing up, and ensuring everyone has access to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So then what is self-hosting? Self-hosting is where your PC is enabled to allow for multiple users to access certain programs already based in your PC at the same time without disrupting anyone's session. So instead of having a server in a data center, you'll be using your PC as what we call the quote-unquote host computer and allow for multiple users to connect in and using programs which you deem them to have permission to use. So I'll go through exactly what those, how to do that later. But we want to go through the advantages of managed hosting. So it's for multiple users. It can allow multiple users to access programs like QuickBooks at the same time from anywhere. You can keep the programs you're used to, like QuickBooks Desktop, instead of moving to a watered-down version like QuickBooks Online, but without sacrificing functionality like remote access. Everyone still wants that remote access to QuickBooks Desktop like they have with QuickBooks Online, but they don't want to sacrifice functionality. And also with managed hosting, you have the luxury of having backups done for you by your cloud-based solution provider. So what are the disadvantages of going to the managed hosting solution? So for the average small or medium business or accountancy firm, they usually have a couple users that need access to the cloud, if you will. It's usually about $50 per user per month. There's usually a setup fee involved, and there's a long-term contract, mostly for a year, that you have to sign up to be within a cloud-based solution. There's also some extra costs for some third-party programs that you've already paid for. So if you've got an inventory software or a POS system that attaches to programs like QuickBooks, you're going to have to pay extra for them to be able to host that for you. Your data is accessible by the hosting company. Larger companies, larger cloud-based solution providers are usually targeted and vulnerable for breaches. I know you've heard of companies like Sony, Apple's iCloud, Target, and Google all being breached, and that's no different than really any other company. It's just they kind of have a target on their backs because they're a larger cloud solution provider. There's always going to be downtime for maintenance, so that's an issue you're going to have to deal with at some point. And then you must move your data to a server. And if you want to move your data back, you must integrate it back to your PC, an external hard drive, or another server. And sometimes it's not compatible. You're also at the mercy of your hosting company. And so based on their functionality. So some of the issues we've heard from our clients that have switched to us after being through another cloud solution provider is things like they're locked out of their session after a certain amount of time from being stagnant. So if they've got something like a web connector they need to work with, say their QuickBooks or construction software, then they're going to be locked out of their account for an hour or two, and they have to contact their solution provider and get back in, and that's just kind of a pain we hear. Also, shared servers means shared resources. You need to be wary of low-cost hosting companies that use shared servers, because you can have an accountancy firm of, say, 5 people that have access to the cloud, but if you've got a shared server, there could be a company of 50 that's on the same server just taking all your resources, and you'll see some lag time, you'll see some freezing, and that's going to be because they're kind of taking your resource from being on a shared server. And then also support. You have to really be careful in who you choose for being a cloud hosting provider, because if the support isn't great, then you're going to have a lot of hard times changing passwords, creating new users, or if you have any issue going through a lot of red tape just to get through to someone that you need to help access your server. So then, what is self-hosting? Self-hosting actually gives you the advantages of cloud hosting without the disadvantages of moving your data to a server and using a cloud hosting company. There's no syncing or file transfer. It can work from any Windows PC from anywhere in real time. MyQuickCloud allows for multiple users to access programs like QuickBooks Desktop at the same time for the fraction of the cost of managed hosting. And then all the data stays on one host computer, so it doesn't move. You just have access to it from various computers and devices as long as you're a user that's created by the administrator of the host computer. So how are we to be competitive with managed hosting solutions? We offer a month-to-month subscription. We don't tie you down to long-term contracts. There's no additional cost for accessing third-party programs that are already attached to your QuickBooks. So if you've got a POS attachment or inventory software that's already on your PC that is attached to your QuickBooks or that you want access to, we don't charge extra like a managed hosting company would be to host that, because we actually don't host it at all. We just allow users to access your PC, and then you can choose what programs they have access to, so you can simply grant them access. And then also third-party compatibility. So when it's based on your PC, a lot of times that it works great, because that's what the third-party applications are meant to do. Is they're meant to be based on your personal computer. Some of the hosting companies, it's not compatible with their servers. So if you've got, say, construction software that you have a lot of remote workers that need access to it, but it's not compatible with the hosting company you use, then you're going to have to change hosting companies. Anyone can self-host. It's not hard to set up. It's very easy to use, and it's very easy to administer. So as the administrator of the MyQuickCloud self-hosting, you can delete users. You can delete connections between users and certain applications. You can delete applications altogether, and I'll show you this all in the demo coming up. And you can also delete connections between users and yourself. So it is easy to use and set up, and I'll show you that during the demo, which I'm going to actually do right now. So let's have a look at how easy it is to use MyQuickCloud self-hosting. So basically, I'm actually in London right now, and I am on a PC that has the MyQuickCloud application. Now, this is not my host computer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect into my host computer that's based in Dallas. So I'm going to log in, and what's going to happen is, as the administrator of the MyQuickCloud application, you have the ability to, create and delete users, change passwords, share certain programs, and so you can do all that here. And I'm going to go through exactly how to do that during the administration phase. But right now, we're going to act as just a user. And if you're just a user, I've been given permission by the host computer or the administrator of the host computer to have access to these certain applications, and I've actually given myself permission to use the virtual desktop too. So you can, instead of using the virtual desktop, which I'll show you exactly how to do right now, you can just give permission to certain applications. So what just popped up is my host computer that's based in Dallas. And I can tell it's different because it's got this little symbol on the side. And if I minimize it, this is my computer I'm sitting in front of right now personally. But if you look at the bottom of the screen here, I've got this little button next to my icon. And you can see none of the other icons, tabs at the bottom of the screen have this button. That means I'm in remote session. So you can see on my computer in Dallas, I've got different programs that are not on my computer I'm sitting in front of right now in London, like QuickBooks. I have QuickBooks on my computer in Dallas, but I don't have QuickBooks on my computer in London. So I'd like to access that. So what I'm going to do is show you exactly how to do that. So I just wanted to show you the virtual desktop environment, but that's not necessarily what you have to show everybody. So say I just want to give someone access to QuickBooks. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on the QuickBooks icon. And open up a sample client file. And what this is doing, it is remoting into my QuickBooks software that's based in Dallas on my other computer. As you can see, it's exactly as you would see if you were sitting in front of that host computer, but I'm actually remotely connecting in. And actually, anyone else remotely connecting in will see the exact same thing. And with MyQuickCloud, you can have multiple users connecting into the same client file at the same time. Of course, you have to have the proper amount of QuickBooks licenses, and they would simply log in using their username and password, and they can work on the same client files or audit things. And this also won't disrupt the session of someone sitting at the host computer. So someone could be at my computer in Dallas working, and they won't know that I've been remoting in. So you're wondering what type of functionality can be used with the kind of remote session on QuickBooks. So if I want to print an invoice and I'm in London, if I press print here, what it's going to do is the MyQuickCloud software will take an inventory of the different printers that I have access to. If you see, it says redirected on a lot of these. What this means is these are the printers that are redirected to my office that I'm sitting in front of here in London. And I have access to print at my location here in London, or I have access to print at my location in Dallas. And the ones, my printers that are in Dallas don't have the redirected symbols. So it's innovative in that way where you can print on both sides. And then, of course, you can always export files out to Excel and everything, but that will all be based on the computer in Dallas. So that's just a basic example of how to use QuickBooks remotely. So I'm going to go through a bit of the administration side now and show you how easy this is to use. Let me move this up a little bit. So as the administrator of the MyQuickCloud software, I have the ability to create new users, publish applications through various hosts. So to create a new user, it's very simple. These are my users I've already created. They have access to a certain amount of applications, and then I can edit those users. So if I wanted to create a new user, I would simply fill in their username and password. I'd confirm a password for them. They can change this at a later date, and then I can label them. I can make them administrator, or I don't have to. So from there, after I create users, I can choose what applications based on my PC that I'd like them to have access to. So it's very user-friendly. Just simply click on these icons, and those are the applications that they have access to. I can also edit their account. So if I wanted to change their username or change their password, I can do that all through the MyQuickCloud application. I don't need to contact support I can do this all myself, and it's, like I said, very user-friendly, meant for the average accountant or CPA or small business owner to be able to use. And then I can also delete them with a single click of a button. So on the host side, as I said, I've set up a computer in Dallas on a host computer. But say I'm an accountant and I've got a bunch of different clients that I would like to work on their QuickBooks with them at the same time. So as you can see, I have 3 hosts set up, and they're all labeled differently. And if you notice that these labels are the same as the labels up in the different applications. So say Demo Windows 7 Pro 32 is a law firm, and I do the books for them. And Try Me Now is a bakery, and I also do the books for them. But I'd like to work on both of their QuickBooks. I don't want to have to leave my office. I don't want to have to log into different hosting sessions, and I want to give my clients the ease of access for them to work on QuickBooks, sit in front of their office. I want them to be able to have their employees input information, and I want to be able to do this all through MyQuickCloud. Well, here's how you do it. You simply have the labels right here, and it corresponds with the labels from the host up here. So I know that the law firm that I see down here, that's their QuickBooks, and I can simply click on that, and just as you showed earlier, it would log in, and you can go ahead and work on their QuickBooks. And this is the bakery I work on too. I would simply click on the bakery and then go in and work on their QuickBooks. And like I said, it does not take over their computer. They can continue on working as well. So you can have various clients all based in one simple area, and you can work together with them. So how do I work on different applications, publish applications, and share the applications? Well, this is on the middle tab. So if I wanted to say, if I want QuickBooks and I wanted to, for my law firm, and I want to give access to, say they have a CEO that wants to audit, I want to have access to it, and then there's another lawyer that wants access to the QuickBooks, I simply administer it here as well. But say there's an application that I don't currently have available that's based on one of the hosts that I want to publish and give people access to. Simply create new, and I can either access a virtual desktop, which is the first thing I showed you, which is the virtual desktop solution where I'm connecting to my computer in Dallas, or I can do it by a single application. I would choose what server or what host computer I'd like to share the applications from. So what it's going to do is going to take an inventory of how many applications are based on my computer in Dallas, and I have 275 available. Now say I want to, say, access Paint, and this could be really any application, but I'm just using Paint as an easy-to-use application or program. I want to give access to just myself, so I'd click Next, and then you're going to see I'm going to have Paint available on my dashboard. Now again, when I click on Paint, it's going to remotely connect into my computer in Dallas. So even if I have an application of Paint on my computer here in London, I can still access that. But a lot of times when you're working on, say, QuickBooks, you want the data to go straight into the host computer, and you want it to stay there. So I'll show you how exactly that works. So if I click on Paint, and it remotely connected into my computer in Dallas. So say this is what I consider inputting data. And you, like I said, you can do this on QuickBooks or anything you want. When I save it, I'll save it onto my documents. I'll do test 1. But it's not saving it on my computer here in London because I'm doing this all in real time on my computer in Dallas. So if I exit out of that and I open up Paint here, and I go to open my test file, test 1, which is different than test data, test 1 is not in my computer here in London because I didn't save it to it. But if I go to my computer in Dallas, where all the data is inputted, I go to my documents, test one is there, and there's the very creative data that I've inputted that will automatically go into my computer there in Dallas. Now, if I want to, so say this was some data that I'd like to go ahead and work on my computer in London, and I'm not connected to the internet, I can go ahead and just copy and paste, and now I've got access to the lovely data that that I just created on in my file in Dallas, but I can still work on it on other computers from a simple copy and paste. So basically that's it. That's how to publish applications, create hosts, publish and use applications, and how easy it is to use. So I'd like to thank everyone for the very brief time today that you had. I know I went through the presentation and a bare minimum of the demo, but the application has a lot more to offer. So we do have free trials available. If you go to MyQuickCloud.com, you can do a 7-day free trial. That doesn't require any credit card information or anything like that, and you can kind of kick the tires, as I say, and go through and play with it, create new users, and maybe show it to either accountants or clients that you have if they have of interest. Or you can contact me at slayton@myquickcloud.com or sales@myquickcloud.com, and you can also give us a call, tweet at us, or find us through LinkedIn. So thanks everyone again for your time today, and have a great day.